Alright. I'm Jonah in the belly of the beast, nigga. I be damned if I die in these streets, nigga. Hands up for the money we gon' reach, nigga. Jonah in the belly of the beast, nigga. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Live and direct. We in effect. The Isaidyo podcast, man. We got a crazy dope show going on today. We getting started, man. We do these. We pre-record the stream. We drop them online. So make sure if you're listening that you follow us on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you listen to podcasts, your social media platforms, all that stuff. We're everywhere. We appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. You know what time it is. Our last episode, we did a breakdown, man. We were talking about the craze going on in battle rap right now. There was a craze going on. Everybody was saying if Eminem battled today, Eminem would get washed. Different people had different opinions and different views as far as how that goes, man. We had some callers. They got a chance to call in and talk, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to everybody that stayed in the chat and kicked it with us that whole time. Now, today though, listen, man, today we have, man, I don't know if this is one of the first, I'll say one of the first, man, but we have a wonderful show, man. Isaidyo podcast, man. We doing international things, man. We trying to definitely broaden our horizons and bring light and shed light and speak and get game from some of the best when it comes down to the culture of battle rap, right? So the gentleman I got on the line with me, Anygma, coming from the most viewed battle rap league in the world, Craig. The whole wide world, Craig. The whole wide world, Craig. Over 2 billion, yeah, I said it right, billion views on 1,100 battles with an average view of 2 million per battle. Homegrown. They do it. They don't need your help. They don't need your help. You want to get over here. They don't need your help. Shout out to my man, Anygma, man. What's up, brother? What's up, man? How you feeling?
Yo, what's happening, man? Yeah, what's good, Quest?
Man,
Thanks
got
for
you in the
having me,
building. Man, we finally got you here, man. It's late
man.
there, right?
Yeah, it's 12 midnight over here. Monday, basically.
Okay. Well, man, listen, I want to say thank you for just staying up and taking the time to chop it up, man, because that's important, and I appreciate you, man. For those that don't know, man, me and Anygma, and I guess this is everybody, we were trying to do this pod like for so many days and so many weeks, like, but because our time schedules are off, he think it would be one day, I think it would be another day or another time, and we were just like, yeah, man, we're supposed to do it today. He's like, no, we're supposed to do it tomorrow. And I'm like, wait, today is tomorrow. And he's like,
Yeah.
so we had a hard time getting it done, man. How are you feeling right now, brother?
I'm good, man. Yeah, it's Sunday. It was a Sunday earlier. Did my family day kind of thing. So, and my bad with the mix up with the time, man. That's I guess that's like Filipino time mixed with the RNT, right? So,
Indeed. So listen, we you guys had on this show, man, we like to cover a wide range of things, but I also one of the most important things about this show is history. Okay?
yeah.
History is important because we will not know where we're going if we don't know where we come from. That's really important. Flip top, a phenomenon. Like, some people over here are just kind of catching the wave, but I've always caught the wave. I remember one weekend, this past weekend, when the battle with Smuggles and Sharon was about to drop. There was a lot of let's say fanfare about who was gonna have the most views this weekend. Because that weekend, I believe Averb and Mickey Fax dropped, and Chess and T-Rex dropped on URL. And there were just a plethora of battles just dropping, a bunch of battles dropping. And I saw that you guys were dropping a battle, and I just went in the comments and went on Twitter, and I was like, well, none of y'all are going to have the most viewed battle because Flip Top is dropping, man. You guys you guys have some of the greatest crowds I've ever seen in battle rap, just as far as the mass amount and the interaction throughout the battles. Um, but you got to get there from somewhere. You got to start from somewhere.
For
Um,
sure.
where did you start in hip hop? Was it young? Was it what, like how old were you when you first got interest in just rap in general?
Yeah, man. Fuck yo, like I've always been a fan of rap and then eventually hip hop. So like as far back as I can remember, out here like we got a ton of bootlegs, right? So like even as a kid, man, like I picked up this bootleg Snoop Dogg compilation thing. I
Mm-hmm.
was playing that shit with like with my siblings in the room, and like they weren't really into that shit, right? So like they were really shocked, like what the fuck what was I listening to, right? Like
Okay. And how old are
um
you around this time?
now I'm 35, man. But
No, no.
yeah,
I
so
mean
like
when you're listening to hip hop. What in during this time while this is happening? How old are you?
I was probably around like 10 years old, man.
Okay.
Around that time, yeah,
Okay.
10 years old. And then like probably just like everyone else, man. Like you try your hand at it, write your little raps and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was doing that until like, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like, kiddie shit, basically like just stupid rhymes, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then, yeah, man, I just kept gravitating towards it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, just trying to get more and more, get my hands first on more and more hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, so I was collecting, cassettes back then,
Yeah.
um, just trying to figure it out. Um, and then eventually like ran into like some like-minded people, right? Like like I guess a lot of my childhood friends, right? Like we were all into basketball and shit.
Yeah.
And while some of them were still like sticking with the basketball, I'm like slowly like, hey, like fuck man, like this hip hop shit's dope or this rap shit's dope. Like I wonder if like who else do I know like that really digs this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then and like the other side, like the other crew back then, like they were actually into it a lot deeper. So like when I discovered that, you know what I mean, like yeah, man, I got exposed to like all sorts of fucking a lot more hip hop than basically I had access to at the time, which was pretty much yeah, like a local rap, and then whatever comes out on MTV, pretty much,
Okay.
So um there was that, and after that, like when my horizons were broadened, like with all that shit, man, like started digging all the way back, you know what I mean, like to the golden age, even before
My
that.
horizons were broadened like with
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
how during that time are you are you rapping in English because you're listening to English? Do you speak English at this time? Do you know English? Are you fluent? Is the
Yeah, yeah.
household speak like
Yeah, I'm like I guess I'm like a super minority case out here wherein like I actually grew up speaking English, you know what I mean? That was my I'd say it's pretty much my first language, but like we spoke English at home and shit.
okay?
But I definitely tried writing in Tagalog, which is the native language, right? Tagalog or Filipino.
Okay.
I would try, and but for the most part, like a bunch of us were rapping in English, and like the that crew that I got with, basically from like 15 onwards, when we started taking the shit a lot more seriously, like I'd say half of us were rapping in English. So yeah, so
Okay.
my exposure to hip hop was really like a lot of the American hip hop, basically. Like yeah.
Okay. So what were you during this age? What were you rapping about? Were you just rapping about what you were hearing on the music that you were listening to, or were you putting your experiences into the raps?
Man, shit, I've never actually thought about that, but like I'd say I started out just like half and half, maybe like a bit of my situation, but at the same time trying to copy like like um MCs that I dug, a lot of spit at will shit, a lot of
Yeah.
braggadocio shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um And then eventually,
you
like,
had the
you know, like,
Bentley and the Beamer and the iced out watch and all that in
nah, 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 not that though,
it.
not that though. Like, we were trying to rap more on the conscious tip, I'd say, like
Okay.
back then, just because, like, obviously, like, uh, it wouldn't be us, you know what I mean? Like we don't have Bentleys out here,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
and nor were we actually like those kind of people who like would rap about shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't too much into the club shit growing
Okay.
up. Like, yeah, man, like it was a lot of like hardcore boom bap type stuff.
Okay.
And then eventually like some left field shit, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing, man. And
Okay.
and then I guess, yeah, man, my style pretty much, I guess, like evolved from like my influences and shit. Like, uh, as I got older and shit, like I was really just trying to listen to everything I could get my hands on, everything that we could pirate, basically. Uh, Back when we had Soul Seek and even Kaza and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, a bit of MySpace, stuff like that. Whatever we could get our hands on, pretty much, man. So I got with that crew, and then like we were trying to like do it seriously, basically. Like, we were a rap collective, basically, or like an independent label at that time.
Okay.
Um, and you can imagine, man, it's like you can imagine how independent it actually was, because like, we're like fucking bunch of Filipinos just trying to rap, and then we're rapping about shit that's not the usual shit. So
Yeah.
so it was like super independent. And from that, man, like, pretty much where I learned how to like organize events as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined a battle event of theirs before I actually joined the crew, right? Like, I joined, I was like hella young. Um, my shit sucked for sure. And then and then I went up against like one of the veterans out here who's he was an actual freestyler, man. So like for sure he whooped my ass. And then but I guess I did good enough for them to like to think that, yeah, like I'd fit. So I joined the crew, and I would also help out with like organizing like the our little events, right? Like trying to push the alternative hip hop shit out here. Like get like 10 people, 20 people watching and shit. And from that, man, yeah, like eventually, like I organized like my first like freestyle battle event around like, man, I'd like to say it was like I was around maybe 16, but it could have been like anywhere between
Okay.
like 16, 18 or some shit like that. Like, I got the dates mixed up now. But
So during
yeah, so yeah.
during that time, like this all this is happening within six years from being 10 to 16, like all this movement from just growth and learning hip hop to organizing it, having a crew and all that. When
Yeah,
you
yeah.
when you get together and you start creating at this level, you start creating hip hop songs, freestyles, competition, things of that nature. What's what's the family think? What's your family think about your involvement in hip hop during this time?
Probably the same as everyone else, man. They didn't appreciate it at all, man. Like, I mean, I definitely got my ass yelled at for playing the music too loud,
Yeah,
probably even like rapping too loud by myself and shit.
yeah,
Like, I'm pretty sure I got cussed out even as a young kid for like speaking too fast. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the old generation be like, "Why the fuck you speaking too fast?" Like stuff like
Right.
that. So, yeah, man. Like, I guess like and maybe from my folks' perspective, like they probably figured like, like shit, we gave you like a better life type shit. So like why are you getting into that shit? So
Yeah, like all of us,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I can't blame them, right? But yeah, yeah, it was they definitely didn't understand it. They probably still don't really understand it now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's funny, man. My mom still doesn't fully understand it. Like, the first time I came home and we had like I'm like, yo, I'm about to be on TV. They're doing a TV show about me. And then they had the real TV cameras in the truck and the crew. That was the first time
yeah,
my mom was like, oh, well, maybe he is. But to this day, man, when I'm going out of town or going out of the country, my mom still can't grasp that somebody's paying me to do this. In her
Oh
mind,
shit.
I'm just going on vacations and I'm just
Yeah, you're fucking around,
spending a
right?
bunch of money and shit. Like, so the competition aspect was seems like it was always there because you were bumping into people to freestyle with, and things of that nature. Were you watching battle rap? And if
Yeah,
so, when did you start? At what age?
yeah, man. Fuck. Let me try to get the timeline right. Um, like I was definitely like exposed to battle rap like from the freestyle era. So
Okay.
like I definitely stumbled upon like Sirius Jones, Jin, a little bit of Iron Solomon.
Hmm.
Um, I remember fucking Idea. Idea was like a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
influence on me
Rest in
and
peace,
us.
idea.
Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, man, like a bit of a. I remember fucking I don't want to fuck up the name, right? But I remember watching like fucking was it Rich Dollars or Reed Dollars? Who came first?
Reed Dollars.
Reed Dollars
Reed
on
Dollars
the
used to do the
shit, right?
freestyles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
On some on the Smack battles, I think it wasn't probably wasn't called Smack back then,
Yeah, that was
but
too raw for the streets,
yeah, yeah.
I believe.
So there was that, and then the next thing, pretty much, man, was I think we yeah, it was pretty much you guys, man, like WRCs, pretty much, yo,
Okay.
WRCs, and then eventually Grind Time, and then you stumble upon like the Canadian League. You're like, oh shit, the Canadians do it too.
Hmm.
But obviously, like we heard of the Canadians from the WRCs, right?
Yeah.
Australia and shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, man, you guys both seasons of WRCs, Grind Time,
Okay.
and the rest is history, man. Pretty much.
So so what was the moment you said, "Hey man, I'm going to start this league up"? Like when was that? When was what was the inaugural year? Like when did you guys get going?
Well, we put Flip Top was started in 2010,
Okay.
but I was kind of planning it probably as early as yeah 2008, pretty much.
Okay.
I'd say.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that plan. Like, how did it come about? 2008. You're jotting down ideas, probably brainstorming.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all this stuff is a fantasy at the moment. All of this is an action plan, maybe.
Yeah.
Tell me about the early thoughts and to actually bringing Flip Top into fruition, and it seems like it's exceeded your wildest dreams in that regard, or maybe it just met your wildest dreams. I don't know. So tell me.
Yeah, no, it definitely exceeded it. But yeah, man, I probably said this in past interviews. But like before Flip Top, we actually wanted to do like a WRC thing out here as well. Like the whole, basically like the 2-on-2
Hmm.
freestyles, or like you can bring some pre-writtens and shit. Um, and like I was even thinking of some corny name, right? Like I was like, fuck. Wait, how many of us are there? Like, do I know of in the Filipino scene, in the local scene, that actually freestyle and are into battle rap, right? So I was
Hmm.
like, okay, there's like probably come up to like maybe like 16 different groups and shit. So I was like, yeah, we can probably try the WRC thing. And I was thinking like, let's call it a Rep Yo Camp back then.
Okay. Okay.
And then because it was like, yeah, like the local scene back then, like we knew of each other, but like people weren't tight, and definitely not tight as how like you eventually become like when you join like the leagues, right? So
Hmm.
like I was thinking shit, it could be like a camp based pretty much, or record label based, group based, and we can talk some shit about like those other guys. um and then like somewhere along the line, man, like it really struck me. I was like, fuck, you know what, like I wanted to do it just because like it wasn't happening out here then. Like, so Grind Time was already happening, but I felt like we needed to go through the freestyle era more before we could graduate to that. And then
Okay.
like at a certain point, I feel like it crossed my mind, like I was just like, wait, shit, man, it's gonna take forever for us to catch up if we really want to do that type freestyle battle circuit. It's gonna take us forever to catch up, and maybe by the time I try to catch up, like somebody might beat me to the idea of doing like the shit, basically
Hmm.
the openly written league format style.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I pretty much yeah, I tried to figure it out. I was like, I think it makes sense to just straight away to the written style and try to
Okay.
introduce that, because like if people aren't gonna understand like the freestyle, the 2-on-2 freestyles, like why waste time on that? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So 2008, 2009,
Oh shoot.
2010. We get into 2000, 2010. That's when you had the first flip top event, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. What's going on before we get to the battles? What's going on in your mind the day of the first event? Like, what are your worries? What are your, like, how many battles do you have? How many people are in the audience?
Um,
Um,
yeah, man. I guess like I was like slightly nervous, but maybe not as nervous as I should have been. Maybe
okay.
like only because like I was already like helping out like with organizing events and everything, so I was
Okay.
kind of like familiar with the process, the logistics, like what to look out for, shit like that. Already contracted like the the camera for the event, who
Okay.
eventually became like my main man with Flip Top. Shout
Okay.
outs to Kuya Kev, also known as Umph. Um, and then I got the venue, I got the tickets, I got somebody to like man the gate. Uh, and then I think like my only concerns maybe at the time were like trying to get the rest of the audience to understand like what the fuck we're trying to do. So like uh first of all, like I'm sure it happens like everywhere, right? Like when the written format first came along, like even some MCs weren't down with it, right? Like they were like,
Yep.
oh, that's just cheating.
Yep.
So like we actually had like one MC who showed up to the battle and he was like, "Oh wait, you guys are written, like, blah blah blah." All like, "Oh, we don't have a beat," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
on the spot, and I also tried to like break it down to everyone else as well, like basically tell them like the rest of the world is doing this like this, and so like I'm trying to like we've always had the talent and maybe we can try our hand at it. And then like one of the main things I guess I pointed out to the audience back then was the segregation of English and Tagalog battles. So like in the freestyle era, man, like that shit would always be mixed up, and no matter how good you were in English as a freestyler, or even if you brought writtens as an English MC, you'd most likely end up losing to like the Tagalog MC in the finals, right? So um yeah, I feel like that was a very like important pivotal step in our evolution, you know what I mean? So like I tried to like I explained to them like so like the battles here, like it's always gonna be English versus English and Tagalog versus Tagalog. And at the same time, like I know we all come from like different social economic backgrounds and shit. And I know like we all have stereotypes of each other's languages, right? So but uh like maybe we can work on not like talking shit about each other's languages like with
Okay.
this thing, you know what I mean? Because like you know what I mean? Like out here in the Philippines, man, like of course, like if you speak English, like you're considered like upper class and shit. And especially
Okay.
like with the English local music that was coming out at the time, it was a lot of what we call amboys or balikbayans, or like amboy is like short for American boy. So it's
Okay.
like Filipinos who had like spent time in the States and then came back,
Hmm.
came back all hip hop and shit. So
Got
uh
you.
so yeah, like those guys were definitely, like to be able to even afford to like fly to the States to like migrate even for like for a few years, like requires a lot of money. I mean,
Right.
so so obviously like we would be of a higher social class. And then on the flip side, like a lot of the English cats, I mean, like there was definitely a sentiment of like all everyone who raps in Tagalog is like the word would be like jologs out here, which it kind of roughly translates to like riffraff, or um like what's the word for it, I guess, in English, but basically
Riff
like
Raff, I
lower
get it.
class, you know what I mean? Like
Got you. Got you. Got you.
Yeah,
Do
something
you
like that. Yeah.
so you
So I mean,
created
there was definitely like, yeah,
so you created a
yeah, yeah,
space that those things weren't, so you kind of created some rules, maybe,
yeah.
like maybe
I'd say
not
guidelines,
unwritten,
maybe.
maybe.
Like, yeah, yeah.
And
Maybe like a vision. You know what I mean? Like, cause like the
okay,
way
a
I
vision,
always saw it,
got you.
man, was like, like I enjoy this shit, right? So all I'm really thinking, right, is like I want you to fucking enjoy it the same way I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like I enjoy like Tagalog rap, and then I also enjoy like super obscure fucking English hip hop. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So and that and yeah, man, that's basically my thinking. Like oh shit, like those guys are doing it in the States, they're doing it in Canada, blah blah blah. And we have hip hop here, and we're dope anyway. And like um as a scene, like you kind of want like the fellow Filipinos basically like to understand, to accept, to appreciate like Filipino hip hop, and that it actually exists.
Okay.
Um and then maybe like one other perspective out here, man, is like a lot of the non hip hop Filipinos, man, like they straight up like look down on hip hop. You know what I mean? Like when it was starting out, like they all thought it was like wannabe black, like wannabe gangster,
Mm-hmm.
wannabe like talking about bitches and cars and stuff like that. So and if not that, it was like basically like crime and shit. Like all those guys always get into fights, that kind of thing. So it was really looked down upon, man. Like out here, like hip hop was really considered like ghetto shit. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
um
Do you think that Flip Top's existence and his maturation since his initial inception has helped break that down or break that wall? You think?
yeah, man. Like I'd like to think so. And especially nowadays, man. Like a lot of the success of Flip Top, man, it's really a lot of non hip hop guys, a lot of non hip hop people looking in. You know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
so and they actually like they end up picking it up. You know what I mean? Like people who wouldn't be considered like naturally hip hop inclined people. You know what I mean? Like they'll get into battle rap, like they'll figure out the shit, the techniques, and they'll start like figuring out like what it's called, that kind of thing. They start analyzing it better. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, I'd say like pretty much like Filipino hip hop is like super widely accepted nowadays, man.
Okay.
So like one of our examples, man, is growing up. You know what I mean? If you were the dude who could play guitar in the crew, like you were the
Mm-hmm.
man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you were the one that like all the girls like you and shit. Like you were considered like the dope guy, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and now like nowadays, I'd like to think, man, like if you're the one who can rap, like that's pretty much taken over like everything. You know what I mean? Like if you're that one guy who raps in the crew, then you're probably getting the bitches. You're probably
Yeah.
that kind of thing, man.
You so this first event, when this first event, I asked you about how you felt when the first event happened, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In the beginning, like what type of feeling you had in that regard. Now I'm curious to know, when that event was over, how did you feel? Did you feel it was a success, or was it a success? Did you were you motivated? Like, what was the feeling going on after that?
Yeah, man. No, it was definitely crazy, man. Like like we knew we were onto something, and I'd say like the crowd at the time was like everyone was like went home shocked. You know what I mean? Like everyone was
Okay.
probably like buzzing right after, and uh, it was actually it was definitely a success, man. At the time, like I remember it was around like 150 people,
Mm-hmm.
like more than 150 people, and like MCs and hip hop crews included. You know what I mean? But like a lot of dudes came out for that event. So um 150 plus, man, like that was considered like a really big success at the time, and maybe like at any time, right? Like anytime you can
Mm-hmm.
get a crowd of 150, that's like whether you're a underground MC or a underground battle league, like 150 is probably like it's a good attendance, right? So that was already crazy, man. And the feeling was definitely like, yeah, it was crazy. Like I got MCs coming up to me like asking me when the next one was right away.
Right.
So yeah, I got that. Like our first event was in February. The next event was in March. So
Okay.
and then from there, like I was already like slowly like planning like a step ahead, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so like after the first like you first plan for the first event, and then after the first event you plan for the next event, but a little bit of half of the third one. And when you hit the third one, you start planning for events 4 and 5, and so on and so forth. And yeah, man, it just took off, yo. Like it was already crazy, and then it was slowly slowly going viral on YouTube at the time. But
Mhm.
it really erupted by our fourth event, yo. Like that's when it really like when I, you know what I mean, I got to the venue and people were already lined up and shit, like all the way downstairs. um I heard people like traveled from like hours away type shit. So, and that's when people first started coming up for like autographs, pictures and shit. Or probably not pictures, like we didn't have like cell phone cameras back then, I think, at that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Or like it wasn't a big thing, not as big as it is today, right?
Hmm.
But definitely like the autographs, man, like that was something I was like, yo, what, like really, like
So
so.
when we're so that's like the in person effect. Like you're experiencing being recognized for what you do. The artists are being recognized for what they do. You guys just threw your big first event, 150 people, and then you put it online.
Yeah, yeah,
First battle, 2 million views. Next battle, a million views. Next battle, 5 million views. Next battle, 5
yeah,
million
yeah.
views.
True.
Next battle, a million. Next battle, 3 million. Are you surprised at the viewership? Or
Oh
did
hell
you?
yeah, man, like
Okay.
fuck yeah, man, like I knew it could get big, but I never thought it'd get big like that and that fast, you know what I mean? And oh yeah, and the funny thing is, man, so like our first event, like we had 5 battles, right? And then
Hmm.
like our like the very first battle, or like 2 battles, like we lost them, yo. Like we weren't able to upload that shit. Like somebody jacked the fucking memory card and shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It
So
wasn't us.
no, it wasn't. No, no, not the stolen tapes. It wasn't the stolen tapes, man. But yeah, no, that, that's fucking ironic, man. Yeah, I remember that time because like shit, yo, it happened. Like I remember watching that shit happen in your league, and then it happened to us, and I was like, whoa, that shit actually fucking happens, yo. Like people actually
Uh,
fucking jack the memory card, you know. So,
uh, man, it
and then,
wasn't
but
it
yeah,
wasn't us, man. That's all I'm
yeah.
saying.
So, yeah, and then the views were pretty high at the start, and then but it really started exploding probably like after our second event.
Okay.
That's when like, and then it just kept going and going and going, and like, you know what I mean,
What
like
do
one
you what do
million.
you attest to that? Are you guys did you look at some type of way to market the battles, or did you just put them out and that's what happened?
Yeah, pretty much, man. That's we just put it out, and that's what happened. But to break it down, I'd say, man, like it's definitely a mix of several factors. Number one being like the skill is actually there. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
actually dope shit. You know, like like if y'all could understand like what these guys are saying, like it's pretty fucking genius. And from the start, you know, like yeah, sure, like a few lines were like a bit stupid maybe, and like some people choked or stuff like that. So, but the talent was definitely there.
Okay.
Second would be it being on free media, pretty much. So like, you know, if I tried to charge, like if I put that out on VCDs or DVDs and tried to charge like 5 pesos, or like even if I tried to charge like 5 cents for it,
Yeah.
it definitely wouldn't have blown up, and somebody would have probably like copied that shit. You know what I mean? Like they would have
Yeah.
pirated it, and they
Yeah.
probably would have copied the whole league format as well.
Okay.
Like earlier on. Um, so yeah. And then the third would be like the whole novelty of it for like all the outsiders, pretty much, because they're like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Right.
oh shit,
Right.
they're talking shit about each other, and it rhymes, and it's funny, and it's fucking, it's sick, and it's dope, and like that guy's dope, that guy's dope, and like, oh, they had a good clash, that kind of thing. um and then I'd say like the fourth factor would probably be like, I feel like growing up, man, I always thought like the whole like roasting culture was universal, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know if there are schools out there who don't do it, but definitely like me growing up, and with like the bunch of dudes I was rolling with, or the kids that we were rolling it, like we were always clowning on each other, like
Yeah.
recess, lunch, dismissal, like waiting for
Yeah.
the bus type thing, just talking shit, like making like I remember making fun of like my friends like dead dad like at an early age type shit, but it was cool, you
Jeez.
know what I mean, like between
Uh-huh.
us in our
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
So so
You
like
know, we're much more alike than we are different. Like
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing. Like across the world, like there's
yeah, yeah,
different languages and all that, different culture,
yeah.
but we share some of the same things. So like that roasting session, a good roasting session is definitely um what what helped me in this culture, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's
pretty much,
dope.
man. Like, right, like just clowning each other and shit. So those would be the factors, man. That I'd say like really um helped Flip Top like garner the views and the mileage and all of that. Um, I'd like to think I had a hand in it as well, of course. Like like I steered it the right way. I
Hmm.
tried to do things for the right reasons, type shit. So uh, yeah,
So when it comes down, why the name Flip Top? Why did you pick Flip Top?
yeah, uh, shit, man. Pretty much like. So I'm just thinking of like what's like a common word but isn't used too often. Like it's common enough for people to like recognize it, but isn't used too often. That kind of like symbolizes us at the same time, and maybe like also like incorporates like a bit of hip hop in it as well. And specifically, man, like one of the main things I thought about at the time was that it had to be like two syllables, because
Okay.
grind time was grind time and don't flop was don't flop,
Yeah.
and basically only KOTD like kind of like stretched it out, right?
Yeah.
Um, but at the time it was like, yeah, like grind time, don't flop. So I was like, yeah, what's like two syllables? And then and out here, man, so like with the cigarettes, like we have the soft pack, like we don't have it anymore nowadays, or like maybe like the cheaper cigarettes would have it. So like we have the soft pack and the hard pack pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And the hard pack was called the flip top back then.
Ah, man,
So
that
like basically
yeah,
this thing. So
yeah, yeah,
so like I swear, man, like the old cigarette cartons even had that shit like flip top on it, like flip top cartons or whatever.
yeah.
Um, and it just fit, man. Like the word flip is kind of like like a derogatory out in the states. We don't actually use it out here,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm aware that like in the West Coast at least, like I think flip was like fighting words for a while because it meant like fucking little island people or some shit like that.
Oh
And
wow.
it's like those are
Okay.
like Filipino, right? So and then of course like a flip in hip hop would be like a rebuttal, right? So like,
Right. Right.
and you go off the top, so like like all it makes sense on like many different levels. And that's pretty much like I guess like my thinking whenever it comes to like coming up with like titles, whether it's like event titles, league
Mm-hmm.
titles, or album titles, song titles, that kind of thing. That's kind of like how I look at it, man. Like it has to make sense on like several different levels
Yeah.
and not be corny and shit. So yeah.
So, so around 2010, that same year, a little later in the
Yeah.
year, end of the year, you guys brought over what I believe to be your first American
Yeah.
battler. You guys
Yeah.
brought over Dirtbag Dan, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dirtbag Dan, man. Shout out Dirtbag Dan. Um,
Uh, shouts to him,
Battle
man.
did 4 million views. Uh, you and Dan had a showing out there, man. I believe that Dan, like, just the response of the crowd. I don't think that he thought that the crowd would be as into what they got into. But
Yeah. Yeah.
tell me about that time. Tell me what the hype was, and how you felt getting ready to battle one of your first. Was this your first American,
Yeah.
like MC
Pretty much,
that you
man.
American
Yeah. Yeah.
opponent?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
For
tell
sure.
me
For sure.
about like the preparation of not only the event, because you're basically being Smack Beasley organic, and you're being the battler. You're putting the event
Yeah. Yeah.
together, you're battling on the event. I've
Yeah.
done that before, so I know the pressure. Tell
Yeah.
me about it from your perspective.
Yeah, man. No, it was crazy for sure. Shit. First of all, man, like I put out a disclaimer. Like I kind of like cringe at that battle. You know what I mean? Like maybe I had some good shit, but at the same time, like of course, like when you're way older, you're like, man, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hindsight
why
is
did I say that? Or
2020.
like, why the fuck do I look like that? You know what I mean? So, um, maybe I could have fucking spat this shit better. So I definitely feel that way about it. But at the same time, like I'd like to think I did a okay enough job, man. I'd say like I feel like I was probably a lot more arrogant about my writing when I first started out. You know what I mean? And um you know I was definitely like aware of like the global standard of battle rap and lyricism and all of that. But
Okay.
like maybe when I was a lot younger, I like soup hella brash and shit, just like fuck yeah, I can write whatever and it's gonna be dope. Like you know what I mean? So and then eventually, so like like when you grow up, you're like, wait, you know what? That shit wasn't that dope, like so but at the time I was definitely hyped about it. Like I wasn't too worried, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I can take this guy, like that's nothing, and like I was hella like arrogant even about like my memorization ability. You know what I mean? Like I was one of those guys who was like, fuck it, like I could finish like writing 3 days before the battle, and I
Yeah.
could still memorize that shit easy. It's not gonna be a problem. Like
Okay.
until eventually like I choked in like my second or third battle, and that's what like like really taught me to like take it a lot more seriously. And then style wise, like yeah, man, like like I always tried to take like a different approach, and I feel like in hindsight, it's definitely like cost me a few battles. Like I'm always like trying to do some stupid experimental shit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
only to figure out that like I should be like a lot more well-rounded, a lot more direct, and all of that. So uh, yeah, man, for the event itself, I got worried only because I lost my voice before my battle, yo. So
Ah, man, yeah.
so I actually like someone in the crowd, one of the MCs, man. Like we have this candy out here. It's called like it's some Chinese shit, right? Like Pei Pakwa. It's
Okay.
supposed to help you with like sore throat and stuff like that. It's probably like some kind of ginseng kind of thing,
Okay.
right? So, but I've never actually used that shit. And he told me he's like he gave it to me, and I used it, and my voice actually came back just enough for that fucking battle. So, but besides that, like the logistics, I wasn't too worried. I was enjoying the battle. I let somebody else like host the battles for that day,
Yeah.
just so I could like prepare and shit, just like watch on the sides. Um, I remember having to break up like 2 fights and shit. So, uh, like off cam and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But otherwise, it was like business as usual. Like
Okay.
um, it wasn't as you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like super like surprised, but definitely like maybe more than the day itself was actually the fucking like the day when Dirtbag Dan put out the poster that he was gonna battle me. Like when I finally saw it on the internet, like on my computer and shit,
Right.
that's when I was like, oh
It's
shit, this
real.
shit's actually real, yo. Like
Yeah,
oh shit.
yeah.
So um it was more of that, but like on the day of the event, like I'd say I was like overconfident and shit,
Okay.
probably feeling myself too much, like probably thinking like, man, fuck this guy, like what's he gonna say, type shit.
Right.
So, but like biggest of kudos to fucking Dirtbag man. Like it's not just that he adjusted for the crowd, but even his choice of adjustment was like really really fucking well played, man. Like in hindsight, I
Word.
I I look back at it and I'm like, yo, that like those choices of angles and fucking
Hmm.
jokes and local references, like that was perfect. You know what I mean? Because like um what do you call this? Like as a point of comparison, like somebody else battled out here and tried to use like local references, but it wasn't working. It wasn't
Yeah.
landing. It was a lot of older, more obscure references. So um yeah, man, like in hindsight, I was really like, yo, those choice of angles, that was fucking that was amazing. And then like for sure, like as it was going on, like I was definitely amazed, but I was
Yeah.
also like, man, I can take this guy, right? And then uh eventually like I won, and like I felt like I was really supposed to win, but yeah, you know, like the older you get, you're like, yo, I was just like hella arrogant at that time. Like I was just like super like overconfident and shit. And
You know,
then yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
like in order to do that, uh, and real quick, because I do want to address one question. I want to put it on the screen. Look
Yeah.
at you go. What's the first battle on Flip Top you suggest for a first time viewer? What would you suggest?
You definitely go with the 2-on-2, the most viewed one, the Looney Abra versus Shei and Smugglers. That's how you pronounce it, by the way.
Okay, Smugglers. My
Shei
bad.
and Smugglers. Yeah,
Okay. Um.
that one. Like, yeah, that's pretty much like basically like the one of the peaks of Filipino hip hop and Filipino battle rap put together. You know what I mean? Because like
Okay.
all of them are also like well established artists now
Okay.
and back then. So
So I wanted to talk about that. I was going to talk about it later, but since you brought it up, um,
yeah.
when you're the talent, your talent, the talent on Flip Top, the MCs, are they just battle rappers? Do they do other things? Like what are they doing outside of battle rap?
Nowadays, you mean, or back
Yeah.
then?
Both. Start from the beginning. Maybe some of these guys got fame after Flip Top and came back. Or, just let me know.
Um, so definitely like it started out with like a bunch of us knowing each other from the scene, you know, like
Hmm.
seeing each other at hip hop nights, different gigs, different battle events, that's kind of thing. Um, Hearing of like each other from this and that, different corners basically of the scene. And then nowadays, man, like yeah, a lot of battle MCs put out music. A ton of them are full time hip hop artists, pretty much, whether it's
Okay.
music or like full time battle rap, like which was completely unheard of like when we first started. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, yeah, a lot of cats, man. A lot of cats own businesses as well. Like they run their own merch lines. Um, uh, they got shops. MCs do online content as well. Like a bunch of them went on to do like streaming and acting as well, pretty much like on like local TV.
Okay.
So yeah, but a lot of full time hip hop artists, pretty much, man,
Okay.
like music and battle rap. So
Okay. And
touring, that kind of thing.
so are these would these be considered like if you were to compare some of the MCs that battle in their careers outside of battle rap, being it acting or making music, let's use the ones that are full-time musicians, who would
Yeah,
they be comparable to uh, for our American listeners? Who would they be comparable to uh, while still participating in your battle rap events?
like the biggest ones, man. Like let's say Looney, for example. I'd say he's like probably like on the levels of like Eminem, J.
Oh
Cole,
wow.
Kendrick. Like he's up there for sure.
Okay.
Um, same with Smugglers, Shea and Abra. Like they're all up there. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
like become like our benchmarks pretty much for Filipino battle rap and Filipino hip hop music at the time. Since then, because that battle was in fuck, when was it? Was it 2012, I think, or 2014, some shit. But definitely since then, like we've all gotten older, so like there's definitely like new generations of of MCs coming up as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, the scene's big enough now, man. Wherein there's also like a sizable chunk of them that go straight to music. Like they don't do the battle rap thing anymore.
Okay.
Whereas like obviously like a lot of us did the battle rap thing at the start to get more people to listen to our shit, pretty much to
Yeah.
like show
Yeah.
up at the
Yeah.
gig. You know, so
See,
but yeah,
that's something
nowadays,
that happens here that doesn't happen as much anymore. A
Yeah,
lot
we
of
still
battle
try to push
rappers,
it.
yeah, a lot of battle rappers are just trying to be battle rappers. They don't.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
battle rappers don't even make music at all.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Um, so what do you say is the reason those MCs get so much success outside of Flip Top and they come back?
Um, Maybe the basically the competitive spirit, I'd say. Like
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
because they fucking enjoy it. It definitely doesn't hurt your career, the fucking battle, you know what I mean? Like
See,
the
here is
battle
different.
of the crowd.
Yeah,
So
here is different.
yeah, yeah,
Drake don't want to Drake getting on a battle rap stage and lose, his career is over. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like it's that kind of fear. And it looks like it's the opposite there. Like the fans revere that. They want to see that. They want to listen to your music, and they also when you guys have your events, are the MCs interacting with the fans, or is it more like a show kind of thing? The MCs are separate, or is it a VIP or a meet and
yeah, yeah.
greet, or like how does that work?
We have a VIP section, but definitely like some MCs will, like they'll chill in the crowd as well. But for the most part, they also kind of have to be separated in case they get called to judge, or like
Okay.
and also so like they can actually listen to the battles, because like if one of them's in the middle, like it's not gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna come up for pictures, kind of thing. But for sure, like a lot of them definitely interact with the crowd. Unfortunately, I can't. Like I have to run straight to the backstage and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, yeah, man. I'd say the MCs that don't have battles that day, they're
Okay.
definitely like a lot more free to
Okay.
fucking interact with the crowd. So yeah.
How do you go about finding new talent? What's that process like? I'm sure now people are beating your doors down to get on Flip Top, but in the
Yeah, ever
beginning,
since pretty much, man.
okay,
Uh, um, our our current fucking tryout format now, it's like it's a lot more. There's definitely a lot more hoops you got to jump through. Like it's a lot more serious now. Like
okay,
back then, it was like a lot easier for sure. And then we also did like the freestyle tournaments as just to see like who does what.
hmm,
But nowadays, man, like it's like a 4 tier process. Like you gotta submit online, and then from there you gotta attend like a freestyle battle, a freestyle tournament, and from there you graduate to like the 1 minute battles before you make it to the big stage.
and is that
So
with everybody, or is that's
for the
whoever?
most part,
Okay,
yeah, for the most part, for sure, like I have special picks as well, like cats who make their names like in the smaller leagues and shit. So like
hmm,
um that's definitely easier to pick, and at the same time, like MCs that put out music who I'm familiar with, like they want to try to battle. So like obviously I won't put them through the fucking
right.
tryouts process anymore. But one of the main things that we do, man, is we intentionally hold the tryouts like every 2 years only. Because
Oh wow, okay,
my thinking is like if you don't pass the tryouts now, like if I hold it again next year, you're not gonna be that much better. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
at the same time, those that did pass that year, I'm still trying to build up their name
right,
before
right,
like before like they get replaced by by the next batch of rookies. So
got you.
like the whole 2 years thing, that's intentional. This latest one kind of took a bit longer because of the pandemic and everything.
Hmm.
So I think like we hadn't had like a tryouts in like three and a half years. Um, but we did it last year and it's still ongoing now. And so like I'll get inquiries from like the entire country, right? And
Hmm.
like we're 7,000 islands and shit with
Right,
like three main island groups. And in the league in Flip Top, we have I put them in 5 divisions, basically like the the capital region or the metro, which is
okay,
Metro Manila, and then like north of that is the Calabarzon division, south of that is the north of that is the Central Luzon division, south of it is the Calabarzon division, and then the two other island groups, which is Visayas and Mindanao, they have their own divisions. and our tryouts like makes it all the way to each one.
Okay.
Like the cats and Visayas, they'll have their own freestyle tournament, and then
Hmm.
their own like 1 minute battles before they can actually make it to like the main event in the main Visayas event basically. Um, but this year though we kind of did away with the freestyle battles. Like we cut it out short, so now it's down to like 3 tiers again. I'd
Okay.
say like the submission based, um, the 1 minute battles, and then yeah, you get your main battle.
What what's a what's the flip top staff look like? Like how big is the staff? This like five different regions, um, tournament. I'm sure these events are massive. You made mention of a cameraman. That sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're still using the same guy you got on with,
yeah, for
or
sure.
and that's fire. That's fire. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that represents some loyalty, and growth and development in that regard. And yeah, like what's the staff look like?
Yeah, man. So like we really started out, it was just the two of us, man. Like
And that's
there were
you and
events
who?
where
You and you and
me
the
and yeah, Kev, that's the
Kev.
big homie
Gotcha.
Kev. Like he was basically like our senores, as we call it, like our
Okay.
senior, pretty much,
Okay.
right? So uh definitely the big brother, man. Yeah, it was just the two of us. Like I remember even running events before, I'd fucking man the gate, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I realized, wait, like I'm supposed to be hosting as well. So like I'll just like pull one of the homies, be like, "Hey man, can you watch the gate for a bit?
Yeah.
I'll just run back there, and every time there's a break, I'll take over again, kind of
Yeah.
thing." And then I'd end up fucking sweeping the venue, like when
Yeah.
it's all done, I'd clean up for the venue as well, pick up bottles, type shit. There was a time, man, and from that, like we expanded to like three, so there was like three of us for a long time, as the core staff. There was even a time I literally built the stage, yo. Like we bought some wood and like we hammered that shit together, and that was the stage we used in one of our the event was Ahon 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then we did it again for several events, man. Like like literally we built our own stage, and it was like flimsy as hell. Like it probably would have broken if like more people got on it and shit.
Word.
Um and then eventually, not nowadays, man, like the core staff is we're at 7.
Mm-hmm.
um So there's me, Kuya Kev, who does the videography work and the main editing, and then we
Okay.
have a graphic designer, two graphic designers, and um two other video editors, and then a corporate secretary, and I do everything else.
Okay.
And then for the events, we have what we call like the auxiliary staff, which is like everyone, like the boom mic holder,
Mm-hmm.
the boom mic operator, the sound system crew, the security, our additional staff, like people to man the gates, the merch, and days like I don't know if you saw, like we're trying to push our own beer, like flip top beer, like we made craft beer out here, so like we're trying to push that. We got people like running that booth.
That's
Sometimes if
fire.
if the venue allows food, like yeah, like people to watch over the food stall,
Yeah.
and whatever we can afford, pretty much, man. Like so, like we really like built it up slowly. Like can we afford extra hands? Then we'll get them,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. So
How difficult? How difficult is it booking out of the country talent for a flip top event?
that's definitely the most difficult. Not in terms of logistics, but pretty much finances. That's pretty much it, man. Like of course, like we still are third world, you know what I mean? So like our money is different. Like um like it's hella expensive to fly anyone out from the states.
Yeah.
Um for us out here, like if we want to travel, like you kind of have to try to book your flight like 4 months to like a year in advance to try to get the cheapest shit
Wow.
possible. So I'd say like that's probably like 98% of Filipinos who want to travel like abroad,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So um and vice versa, pretty much anyone who wants to travel. Like I'd say for you guys, like I don't know, like the cheapest the West Coast gets would be like I've seen something for like $400, but that's like a 35-hour flight. You know what I mean? But like let's say on average like $1,000. That's supposed to be like big money for you guys.
Yeah, yeah. That's an expensive flight.
Yeah,
That's
thousand
that.
dollars.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at them.
I
I'm
mean,
looking them
like
up right now, man. I'm seeing prices 1,500,
yeah,
2,100.
yeah,
Where are they
yeah, yeah.
flying into?
To Manila.
Manila, yeah, 1,500 bucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Not they're cheaper flights, but geez, yeah, like these are hefty investments. Some guys
Yeah,
don't get paid what the flight costs, so that's
yeah, man. And like imagine all the more for us. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
like if you convert that shit to our currency, and that's like that's way above like minimum wage over
right.
here. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's not cheap at all, man. And I guess like um on the other hand, like maybe one other problem would be the lack of support, pretty much, because like if the views were getting as much as the local battles do,
Hmm.
then it would probably be a lot easier to like to put together for sure, like to
Hmm.
squeeze in even like every now and then, like squeeze in one English battle for the lineup kind of thing.
Right.
But um yeah, man, it didn't work this one event, so it's really been tough. And the interest as well, um around 2014, 2015, I'd say like the interest for like English battle rap wasn't that high, and maybe until now, man. Unfortunately, I'd say like 90+% of our fans like don't follow like English battle rap pretty much. Like they're
Okay.
not even aware of it. Maybe like
So
um
it's that lends me to the question I was gonna ask, and maybe you just answered it. I was gonna ask if I'm sure the battlers are more familiar than the crowd, but
yeah, for sure.
do the battlers feel disrespected when American battlers or when English battlers say that they're the most viewed or that they're the
Um,
number one battle rapper? Like if I remember when it was a big thing about Arsenal and Charlie Clips and whoever else getting to 100 million views, you know,
yeah, yeah,
and you guys got like the 2-on-2 with Smugglers,
yeah,
Sheehy, Looney, and Abra. That's 55 million just
yeah,
in
yeah,
one battle. Sheehy's next battle versus uh uh I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but Cineo
yeah.
was
Senior, yeah,
53 million.
yeah,
So
yeah.
right there, two battles, that person is at 100 and almost 110 million views.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
do do the battlers feel disrespected when they hear Americans say they're the number one battler in the world, most viewed
Um,
battler in the world?
maybe maybe a little bit when it first happened, but to be honest, like um it's probably not much of a big deal anymore. And at the same time, like unfortunately, like maybe the news doesn't come out here
Okay,
as often as it did anymore. Like we don't even hear like um or like we don't really like focus on like whatever anyone might be saying about like being the most viewed anymore.
okay,
But when it definitely when we were first getting big, I do remember Smack like making fun of our views and shit. Like he was like saying like it was all bots and stuff like that, or like a lot of people in Asia type shit.
mm-hmm.
Um, but afterwards, like, nah, man, we wouldn't be here without y'all anyways. So like that's how I see it. So
Word.
you know what I mean? Like I'm and for sure like the MCs out here too, like the ones that like really still study it and still like watch the battles over there and shit. So yeah, man, like they don't think it's a big deal. Like
Okay,
it's more funny than anything, I'd say. Like what's that one website, Verse Tracker, where like
yeah, yeah,
they have to like put a category on the filter for like English and
yeah,
everyone else who isn't rapping in English and shit.
yeah.
Um, it's definitely something to be proud about. But yeah, other than that, like it's not a big deal, man. Like
Let me tell you. Let me tell you what a big deal is to me. All right. Um, I found out about battle rap on the set of 8 Mile. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't really know that people battle like that. I didn't go to
yeah,
like the hip hop shop. I was too young to go where Eminem was going.
yeah,
And
yeah,
on the set, I'm watching them do the, hey, you get to go up here and battle Eminem and do stuff like
yeah,
that. Marv was one of the people,
yeah, for sure.
and I saw the response that all of the MCs from Marv, the Wiz, the Fusion, Soup. I saw the response that they all got, and I was like, man, I could do that shit. Like,
Yeah,
like I wanted that response. Like I was already a
yeah, for
rapper,
sure.
and
Yeah,
like I had never seen people cheer for people like that, and I was like, yo, I can do that, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I started doing that, and I would go to these places, and it'll be 15, 20 people in a dirty looking bar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or it'll be a tournament with 32 people and I got to win 8 times to get $100 or whatever it was, right?
yeah,
And I'm getting in these events and I'm fighting, man, to be heard, right?
for sure.
And I've been able to literally watch battle rap go from spaces like that to spaces like yours.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm able to, the same way that you say that you were able to watch us,
yeah,
myself, Marv, Dan, the Source, Immaculate, the WRCs, King of the Dada, what have you. You were able to watch that and get inspiration. Well, I'm able to watch you guys do what you do and feel not only inspiration but a fulfillment, a admiration of something that I never thought I'd see this, bruh. Like
yeah, yeah,
I don't know how important it is to you, right? I know just in talking to you how much you put into hip hop in general and your admiration and your love for hip hop and battle rap, for you to continue to do this
yeah,
15 plus years, right?
yeah,
And people don't talk about that enough. You guys been around for 15 years plus doing this.
yeah, yeah,
Um, or 24, what 15, 14, wherever we at.
yeah,
When I watch it though, bruh, it's like, wow, man. I didn't even know that people in the Philippines were watching me during that time.
yeah, yeah,
So when like we spoke and you're like, yeah, man, hey, man, I'd love to be on the show, man. I've been a fan since that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I get that now. Like, Quest now gets that. But like, young Quest doing this, no idea. So
for
when I
sure.
look over and I see the type of crowds you're bringing, the fun that the MCs are having on the stage, the diversity in MCs that you have. You got women, you got men, you got lyrical, you got joke, you got a guy that
Yeah,
dresses up. You got
yeah,
like you got some of everything.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and I think not enough is said about the reach and the unification where two people that have never spoke to each other outside of a chat can hop on this phone or hop on this cam from thousands of miles away and share something so similar, share experiences so similar. While I'm hearing everything you're talking about, man, I'm thinking about my come up. Like, I'm
yeah,
thinking about my friends and what they say about, man, the family. They were telling me to shut up, man, or these
yeah,
people
yeah,
weren't believing in this. They didn't think we
yeah,
could
yeah,
do this, or from you putting the events together. I don't know if you're familiar. Me and Daylight battled at an event that I put together.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
was doing what you were running to the
yeah,
door,
yeah,
taking door money, and then hey, having
yeah,
my
yeah,
aunt sit at the door because I could trust her with money, and I'm
yeah,
running
yeah,
back and forth. I got somebody else to host. I had all my
yeah, yeah,
friends hosting
for sure.
or whatever, so I could focus on my battle. But all while I'm focused on the battle in the beginning, I'm looking at the door like, man, I hope people come in this place, man. Like, and it's so inspiring, man. It's so inspiring. Like you all are a focal point in advancing not only the culture of battle rap but the culture of hip hop. How do you ever think about that while you're doing what you're doing, or do you just do?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like, it's it's a fucking honor, yo. Like, for real. Like, and it's been a wild ride, but it was always an honor, like, to begin with. Like, and until now, man. Like, yeah, like, you want to be heard, you want to get your name out there, kind of thing. Like, every MC wants that. That's why they want to battle. You know what I mean? And then, like, to even be fucking recognized for anything, like, for even like a fraction of it, like, it's definitely like, it's crazy to me, man. Because yeah, like, growing up, man, like, we didn't have a lot of hip hop acts coming to the Philippines. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Mm-hmm.
like, there were definitely years, like, as a hip hop fan, you're like, fuck, man, I'll never get to see Idea live. I'll never get to see Eminem live. I'll never get to see, like, Nelly live, or whoever the fuck, right? Like, not even Bone Thugs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, and then to eventually, like, make enough noise to get some people's attention. You know what I mean? Like, internationally,
Yeah.
um, to the point that even maybe, just maybe, fucking even Eminem knows, like, there's some battle rap shit going out here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's insane. Like, I never
No,
would have thought, like,
M knows. M knows.
yeah.
M
So,
knows.
yeah, no, that's crazy, man. Like, when I first made it out there as well, like, the King of the Dot, seeing everyone, like, it was really a trip, man. Like, super overwhelmed, to be honest. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
walking on the sidewalk, like, a fucking, um thesaurus and them were, like, in front of us, type shit. I'm like, damn, yo, like, yo, that's really them, man. like
Yeah.
like I guess I'd say, like, it's probably not different from, like, how, like, fans would first view us. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they always kind of get that feeling, like, oh man, I only used to see you on YouTube, and now here you are in person. And so, like,
Yeah.
with the fame of Flip Top, for sure it happens. Like, if we run into fans outside, right? Like, they'll
Yeah.
all be like, oh damn, like, I've been watching you for years, and I've all that, right? And that's pretty much how I felt, like, fucking seeing everyone out in Toronto, and then
Yeah.
more so in Cali. And yeah, man, like, it was definitely, like,
Okay.
a fucking crazy ass trip, and but still an honor, like, just
What
fuck, if I were to go all the way back to when I was a kid, like, it's really crazy, man. I never would have thought,
how do you balance like day-to-day life and being the president of quite possibly the biggest thing in hip hop out there, like the raw hip hop, raw like how do you manage just day-to-day life with organizing these events, performing at these events, getting new talent, things of that nature?
um yeah, I just take it by the day, man. Like, I'm pretty sure I've said that in past interviews as well. Like, I really just try to take it by the day.
Okay.
um Try to do what's important, basically the priorities, like, for the family as well, for the household, um and get to work, pretty much, man. It's
Okay.
work. It's a lot of stress, it's a lot of hectic shit,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a lot of work every day. I'm pretty tired of it, to be honest. Like, I'm, I'm,
It's time to
I'm
time to groom your successor, man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Like,
you be the you
I
be
used
the
to be the young cat, you know what I mean? I used to
yeah,
be the young cat in the crew, and now, like, I'm feeling old, so,
man.
so
Yeah, man, you got to get to the point you can sit back and just smoke a cigar in a dimly lit
yeah, for
room and
sure.
just bark out orders.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah. I wish, man. Shit.
man,
But yeah, it's really just, like, focusing on the work. Really just, like, sticking to it, man. Like, it's definitely easy to get distracted, to get lost, to get caught up in all this shit. But, like, if you kind of, like, stick to the work, and at the same time, like, try to remember, like, why you're doing it for. You know what I mean? Like, what was the
yeah.
fucking first reason why you did it to begin with? That definitely helps. And then yeah, I used to drink a lot more, like when I was a bit young. I still drink a lot now, but like I've tamed it down a bit.
Hmm.
Uh, but I definitely like I enjoy my vices and shit. Like you've probably seen me light up like 10 cigarettes already and shit.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
um,
you got to coat the coat.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
let me ask you this. I don't want to hold you because I know it's super late and you've been
Yeah,
gracious enough.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
What would be what would be your keys to success in both live events and YouTube drops as a battle league? What advice would you give to someone looking to get into this culture, get into this business venture, and what keys would you give them for success in both the live aspect as well as the digital YouTube media in that regard?
Shit, I don't know, man. Like fuck. What sticks out? Like I'm trying to think of like, is there actually anything I can say that like people don't already know? You know what I mean? Like,
You know what?
uh,
I always find that some things that we think are common knowledge, there's
yeah,
somebody with not even that yet. So this might be that guy that was in 2008, 2000 and
yeah, yeah.
whatever, that's at the phase you were when you were developing Flip Top, coming up with all these ideas and paths and goals, and they might just need that push of inspiration. So think of it as if this person doesn't know anything.
Um, I guess for the live event, man, I'd say like Murphy's law definitely happens. You know what I mean? Like, if something's gonna fuck up, it's gonna fuck up. So like,
Hmm.
so uh, like maybe like quite simply, right? Like to get ahead of that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like try to fucking anticipate every fucking thing that could go wrong. And when you're done, when you think you're done with the list of things that could go wrong, be ready for like a whole longer list of things that actually happened that you didn't fucking think of. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it's pretty much been that, man. Like, I didn't go to school for this shit.
Mhm.
Um, like none of us did, right? Like
Right. Right.
even everything from like organizing to like logistics to like the business side of it, especially, man. Like I didn't go to school for that shit. Um, so it was really a lot of that, man. Just like building on that per event, right? Like, okay, like how's it gonna go? Blah blah. Like, this probably gonna like it could fuck up here. So how do we like preempt that, right? Like prepare for that. And if your plan A doesn't work, what's your plan B, plan C? And then like at the event, more shit happens that you didn't prepare for. So for next event, you're like you're preparing for that, and so on and
Indeed.
so forth. And you just try to get ahead, man. Um yeah, you know what I mean? Like until you reach the point, like, I've definitely considered like for certain events, like fuck man, like what if somebody actually died at the fucking event? Like if a stampede happened or like a fire broke out or some shit,
Yeah.
like how the fuck would I have to deal with that? So and you kind of build up a contingency plan for shit like that. So like that's the live stuff. I'd say for online, man, it's like uh maybe like simplicity, consistency, and being like true to yourself kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like I think it could be like it could boil down to that. So um like if if you're true to yourself, like no matter what content that is, it's gonna look dope anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we all like fucking stumble upon videos that like people wouldn't expect us to watch, right? But like like I'll watch a video about like those dudes like replacing like a horseshoe
Yeah. Yeah.
type thing, and
Hmm.
like and it's obviously done by an expert. So like when he shoots it, it's fucking dope. Like it makes it look interesting, or
Hmm.
it looks interesting to me. So like whatever it is, if it's like some fucking educational shit, if it's like streaming games or whatever, like yeah, just like being true to yourself, and like of course, like if being true to yourself involves having like a good personality, then that helps.
Word.
But otherwise, like even if you're not like even if you're not the most fucking confident guy or whatever,
Hmm.
like being true to yourself and what you're passionate about, always feel like will like permeate the video, or like will show through and shit. So, and then the consistency is like a I feel like it's a big deal. Like for sure, like over the years watching how all the other battle leagues do it, man, like switching channels, I'd say, is like kind of like uh social media suicide in a way. Like that always makes it tough, right? Like everyone's used to one channel, and then like suddenly you transfer the league to a different channel and another one, and people, I guess, don't keep up, right? So like us having a singular channel and like intentionally um what do you call this, centralizing our views on that, like
Hmm.
I think is a big difference, man, for sure. Because like we never tied up with the streaming apps. We never tied up with other platforms and shit. Um, even like Spotify was has been asking us to like put our battles on Spotify, and I'm like, no, but I want to see, like, like the centralization of it all, like the
Yeah.
viewership. Like it wouldn't read 2 billion if I put it out on Facebook, if I put it out on everywhere else. You know what I mean? On a streaming app with a paywall. So
Right.
like like we can definitely, we like the 2 billion is definitely like a tangible or like a concrete number to look at, to show to anyone that, like, yeah, we're 2 billion on YouTube, as opposed to being like 2 billion total off of TikTok and blah 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 blah, or whatever, right? Like five different social media apps.
Right. So
Um,
so there are no battles anywhere else.
nah,
That's
nah,
that's
it's all on YouTube, man. And then I'd say the simplicity thing, like I kind of feel like the way we titled our videos, like it was made with the intentions of looking as simple as possible. So it was literally just like flipped up dash name versus name.
right.
And I've seen like other leagues like toy around with the titles, right?
Hmm.
But I feel like having a standard, like a simple standard, um, makes a big difference. You know what I mean? So like I've seen other leagues put the league name at the end. Um, some of them will try to use like clickbaity titles and shit like that. So, uh, but ours, just having been like that for 14, 14 years, flip top dash, flip top, always with a capital F, capital T,
Hmm.
space dash space, MC name versus MC name, like
So,
gives it some kind of like uniformity, some kind of identity, I guess, and like easier to spot as opposed to everyone else,
okay. And what about the website? I see you guys do a lot of merch, uh, and a lot of merch promotion in that regard. Uh, you can get. I want to share this while we're at it. If you're watching right now the website is at the bottom. You can
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
share. Let's talk about what's on the website.
The website, man, we like try to put as much info about like the battle MCs and the league in itself. Like we have articles. Uh, actually, about the merch, we've had difficulty like linking it up to like a better like shipping system. You know what I mean? So like we still kind of run our merch through Facebook more.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, on the website, like there's like basic bios of like most of the MCs, if not all. Basic info about them, articles. Sometimes, yeah, there you go. You got the tryouts thing whenever it's available. Um, and videos are basically content, man. Just another centralized fucking platform to like put the stuff. So like there you got an article over there about like some local hip hop group. Shout outs to them, Tres Diablos, and MC Spotlight. That's for like solo MCs. Um, an interview of like another local MC out here, MC producer, Tats Maven. Um, there we got pre-event reviews, hip hop upcoming events, uh, fan submissions, which is like, yeah, like volunteers and shit. They just like submit us stuff to
Okay.
post from a fan's perspective about the best battles from last event, latest battles, social feed. Like try to make it look simple. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
simple as possible, pretty much. Um, if you happen to like go through the website, just like try to keep you on there as long as possible. Look at all sorts of different things.
This is something dope
Yeah.
right here.
Oh yeah, we got lyrics too. Yeah, the
Yo,
lyric section for like
this is
local
dope.
hip hop. Yeah,
This is really dope, man. Like,
yeah,
uh, all the battle leagues, man. If y'all are watching this, things that keep your fans engaged, things that had your fans come back, and yo, this is it, man. This is so dope. Before we get out of here, man, can you tell
yeah.
us where to find everything? Flip Top. We got the website again. We'll share that. As a matter of fact, let's share that now. Let's share it again. Let them know where to go on our social platforms, and also let us know what's going on in the future for Flip Top for
Yeah, man. So like,
2024.
yeah, you got the website, and then our main social media would still be Facebook. I feel like that's not as big a thing anymore in the States, huh? Facebook.
I think it's not with the young kids. They say old
Yeah.
people here, you
All
like
right.
me, like me.
Yeah.
They say old people use Facebook, but all I
All
got
right. All
is
right.
Twitter, man. They banned me from Facebook, man, and
Oh shit.
yeah, I
But
got
yeah.
hacked.
All right. Damn. Must have been a Filipino for sure, right?
Oh
Like,
man,
no, but yeah, like we still got the Facebook. It's facebook.com/fliptop battle league. That's where like basically all the information about upcoming events, merch and tickets. You can just like message to the inbox and shit. Someone's gonna reply. Um, that's where we post like the when a battle is uploaded and shit. Like that's where we basically promote it the most.
okay,
We only picked up on Twitter and Instagram like recently, like more so in like the last 4 years maybe.
okay,
It was always there, but like it was just like linked to like whatever we would post on Facebook, like it would come out there,
yeah,
but we wouldn't really monitor that shit for a while. But yeah, eventually it was flip top battles on Instagram, and then shit, what is it on Twitter? I don't even fucking know, man.
Flip
Flip
Top
Battle League.
underscore
Yeah,
battles. Yeah,
yeah. Flip Top Battles or Flip Top Battle League on Twitter. We try to standardize the posting nowadays as well. So like whatever comes out on Facebook will most likely come out on Twitter, Instagram, and all of that as well. So and then my shit, man, like I don't actually have Instagram or Twitter. I have a fan page, but like an artist page pretty much, but I don't even like really fuck with it much. Like I don't really do social media every day just because like the work in itself involves like social media all the time. So like
yeah,
so I'm sick of it, you know what I mean?
yeah. I
Uh,
understand.
like
Th-
I help run the flip top pages and the our local independent label as well, Uprising Records Philippines. Like I help with that. I work on that. And but I also got an MC Enigma page. Like yeah, it's just MC Enigma. You can find it on Facebook. But
mhm.
whoever the fuck's using that shit on Instagram and Twitter, man, like that's not me. So like I don't know if y'all have been hitting him up and like probably getting pissed that he's not replying or whatever. Then that's not me though. But every now and then I will be notified of like somebody messaging the Twitter account, which is where like we linked up, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
otherwise I'm on Facebook. So
Okay. Okay. And what do we got going on? You just had the Sharon battle that was really big here. Not as
yeah,
big
yeah.
as some of the things there, but it was really, really big here. And I believe it really took some people took notice because it dropped on a day like what was it, Christmas here?
Yeah, New Year
Um,
or something.
New
Yeah.
Year or something like that. And what are the goals and plans for 2024, and what can we expect from Enigma himself in 2024?
Man, I always just say like bigger and better, pretty much, man. Really,
Okay.
just like um, take it by the day, take it a step at a time, kind of thing. Just like little improvements everywhere, kind of thing. But we always have our yearly tournament. So the Isabuhay tournament, that's the one-on-one tournament. We used to have a two-on-two, but we don't do that anymore. But yeah, we have the Isabuhay tournament. um, um, bigger and better events all around the country as well, and maybe just maybe, man, like maybe a bit more international battles. Maybe it's gonna make more sense now than it ever has. So
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I hope that this year grants great success and fortune to you. I saw the
hey, thank
interview on Vice, so like the attention is still forming and is still going. Uh, I'm super proud. I don't know what that means to you, but I'm super proud to be a part of this thing we call hip hop and an inspiration in any way, shape, form, or fashion to the maturation of hip hop in other places. The work that you're putting in right now is cementing your legacy, or the work that you've already put in has cemented your legacy in the Philippines for sure, uh, and in America as well, because you're being recognized, and I hope you all continue to get recognized. And I hope that uh, us in America, we can learn more. I think we all grow when we learn together. I think looking at the model of Flip Top and the artists that are able to go on the heights in areas outside of battle rap that are still staying true to the art, coming back and performing, showing the crowds, seeing that people are interested in their top rap acts getting in this battle ring still. I hope that light is shine, and that just that inspiration that hopefully you guys got from us, you could continue to give and continue to grow this thing we call hip hop. I appreciate you. Battle rap appreciates you, Enigma.
hey, thank you, man.
Um, Yo, man, we gotta do this more often, man.
Yeah, for sure, yo. But definitely, man, kind words, yo, and it's always a fucking honor. Like, yeah, for real. Like, never would have thought like I'd even get to interact with you like from after all those years of watching you all battle in the WRCs, man. It's definitely a big honor. Um, I'm also just like fucking proud to like keep it going. You know what I mean? Like, and definitely thank you to all y'all who fucking paved the way for us, for like a little Filipino boy like me to fucking be exposed to like all the entire culture, and to like and to be able to give back to it, man. Like it's definitely yeah, man, dream come true pretty much, man. Like
Indeed. Well, hey, man, on behalf of everybody, man, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining the show.
cheers,
We
man. Yeah, yeah.
appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, sure. Let me know anytime, man. Do a
Okay,
part two.
for sure. It's on.
All right, all right. Peace,
Peace.
yo. Thanks
Peace.
for having me, man.
All right. Peace. Peace. Hang on 1 second for me. Yo, 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 yo. Listen, that is it. I said, yo, podcast, man. We had a wonderful, wonderful interview with my man Enigma, straight out of Flip Top, Battle League in the Philippines, man. The number one viewed battle rap league in the world, man. I want y'all to make sure you tune in, make sure you share this on social media platforms, click the notification bell, share it with your friend. Make this aware, make this available. We strive to tell stories in hip hop. We say the drama for your mama, and we just get down to the meat and potatoes of the stories, man. Thank you so much. Tune in later. I said, yo. Hey, y'all, I'm always waiting, and I think I'm ready to cue in the music to go, but I'm not. But now I am. Yeah. Hey, turn me up, turn me up. Yeah. All right. I'm chilling in the belly of the beast, nigga. I be damned if I die in these streets, nigga. Hands up for the money we gon' reach, nigga. Chilling in the belly of the